often do you practice English, guys? I always practice English. This is USL English and today's grammar topic is adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency. So do you know what are adverbs of frequency? We use them to express how often we do something, how often an activity is done. For example, how often does she go to the supermarket? How often does Paul eat chocolate? How often do you speak English? So we have this adverbs of frequency from 100 to 0. 100 is the top, okay? You always do that, okay? And that's why we have always. For example, she always goes to the park every Sunday. No matter what happened, all the time, okay? All the time goes to the park every Sunday. So notice the position of the adverb of frequency. Again, when we use this tense, we collocate the adverb of frequency between the subject and the verb. So that's why we say she always goes. Always goes between the subject and the verb to the park every Sunday. But what happens if you want to use the verb to be? That's a different position, alright? So let me show you. She is always happy. Notice that in this case, we write always after the verb to be, okay? So remember, whenever you want to use the verb to be, the adverb of frequency goes after it, okay? After the verb to be. In this case, after is. When you want to use the other tenses, you can write the adverb of frequency between the subject and the verb. Perfect. So repeat, please. She always goes to the park every Sunday. Perfect. Now, she is always happy. Outstanding. So the 90% is usually, okay? So this means that you don't do it the 7 days of the week, but you do it 6, okay? Like this activity is done in 6 days of the week. For example, I usually sing in the shower. Okay, repeat please. I usually sing in the shower. Nice. Okay, 80%. Generally or normally, okay? For example, we generally, normally, exercise in the morning. So repeat please. We generally, normally, exercise in the morning. Perfect. So the 70% goes to often, okay? They often eat out. Repeat please. They often eat out. Great. So let's move on for the 50%. That means sometimes, okay? For example, he sometimes visits his grandmother. Notice when we use the adverb of frequency, we always keep in mind that it's the subject, he, she, it, we add the s, es, or ies, okay, depending on the verb. So it's not that because you're going to use the adverb of frequency, you're going to eliminate that rule. No. Siempre que ocupemos he, she, it en el presente, siempre ponemos el verbo con una s, es o ies, dependiendo de la regla que se ocupe y del verbo también. No quiere decir que porque vamos a usar el adverbio de frecuencia no lo vamos a ocupar, no lo vamos a poner, no lo vamos a decir, okay? No, always goes, okay? So, he sometimes visits his grandmother. Outstanding. 30%, occasionally. We say they occasionally travel to England. Repeat please. They occasionally travel to England. Perfect. Now 15% goes to seldom, okay? For example, I seldom eat food that are high in fat. Repeat please. I seldom eat food that are high in fat. Perfect. And 0, it's never, 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 okay? So we say, he never forgets his homework. Repeat, please. He never forgets his homework. Outstanding, guys, okay? So, it's practice time. So, it's the moment for you to shine and to practice these adverbs of frequency. Are you ready? I know that you are. Okay, so the first question is, how often do you listen to music? My answer is, I sometimes listen to music. That's my personal answer, okay? How about you? How often do you listen to music? Wow, great. So the next question is, how often do you check your social media? In this case, I always check my social media. What about you? How often do you check your social media? Great. I don't think that it's great, but you check it, okay? And always use the platform here on USL English, that's right. And the last question is, how often do you practice your English? I always practice my English. How about you? How often do you practice your English? That's right. That's all, guys. Hope you're having a great time. I hope this is helpful for you. See you in another grammar class. Bye-bye.